All right. Hello, my friends. Shall we do a Bitcoin update? We shall. Thanks for tuning in. This is Hala Pablo. Let's get right into it, like you know I like to do. All right. So this is just kind of picking up where we left off yesterday. We've had some, we're up at 64,000. This was all, remember, we talked about this. What's happening right now is the price is approaching the 50 MA. Here's the 50 MA right now. Boom. See this line right here, this white line? Yeah. So this is kind of like the line drawn in the sand here, so to speak. So anything reaching this area, and this area is at 65.1 right now. The 50 MA is at 65.1. So anything at 65 and above, remember I talked about perhaps going up to 67,000, that would constitute a liquidity raid. All right. The prevailing sentiment is still bearish, despite what the news is saying. The news is now becoming bullish, and that's all to be expected. What they're doing is they're bringing the carrot out and wagging it before retail, trying to bring like bringing some optimism into the crypto markets. We look at, see here we see Bitcoin, weekly wrap. Bitcoin has a winning week. Okay. Bitcoin holds firm despite ETF outflows. All right. That's two bullish narratives. Bitcoin short term holders remain 15% underwater, but selling pressure is easing. Okay. Bitcoin already won. So that's one, two, three, four bullish narratives. Why billionaires are really buying Bitcoin now. Here's another bullish. MSTR stock rises 4% in pre-market as Michael Saylor defends Bitcoin plan. This dude just sold like $216 million worth of Bitcoin. But never mind that. Can Bitcoin really power the internet? So, all right. So we're seeing a prevailing bullish sentiment, if not just temporary. Now, and it's interesting where all this is coming in. We go to the fractal algorithm, 4-year on it, and we see this is kind of the correlation of where we sit now. 4 years ago, we can now draw a micro trend resistance line, starting at the AR point and coming down. This isn't really an upthrust. We don't have an upthrust yet. So what we're seeing is basically a descending triangle in both. If we draw the support line at the selling climax here. So we have the automatic rally, secondary test, secondary test. These three features are obligatory. So, so we see the wave correlation here playing out, and then we go and we look at the Nupal, and we have the same sort of smart money supply vortex here. And so we see that smart money is selling into this same linear area, which is, you see how we have like a triple yellow right now in the Nupal. So this is the smooth over moving average beneath the underbelly here, this yellow line. And then we have the Nupal, which is flashed yellow. Why is it flashed yellow? Because it's broken above the zero line, and the zero line itself is yellow. So we have a triple yellow in the STH Nupal, and this indicates overbought. So all this means is that this is the area where technically where we've seen a supply order block come in and Bitcoin sells off. It's where the value is peaking out. We still have some ways to go up into the actual rectangle here if we really want to make it truly, linear, like we did 4 years ago. But we see that even where we are now, you see where we were 4 years ago, we didn't quite come up into the supply vortex. We stayed beneath it. So we may very well stay beneath it as well where we are if these fractals continue to duplicate. We had a triple yellow 4 years ago, and we have a triple yellow this year in the same spot. And so all this has taken place beneath the anchored VWAPs, which have crossed over right at or before. Here it crossed over before the automatic rally point here. This year it crossed over right at the automatic rally point, and that's when we saw the yellow MA emerge. Same thing kind of here. We had the yellow MA emerge, and then we had this spike up to the supply vortex. And so this year, the difference this year is we stayed beneath the zero line. This is really the first time we've broken above the zero line. And so that's where all the hoopla is coming from, all the bullish narrative. Everyone's saying, you know, Bitcoin is holding, Bitcoin, it's winning now, billionaires are buying, Michael Saylor is buying. We see that narrative. We just looked at the prevailing narrative, and I didn't see any bearish at all. And so, you know, this is for a reason. They want retail to buy at this area here, beneath the this area beneath the anchored VWAP crossovers and right under the 50. Remember, we're at the 50 MA. So we're at an area between this is the 200 weekly and this is the 50 here. And so you see how it's squeezing, and Bitcoin is doing all it can to stay above this bottom pocket area. Remember, we talked about this yesterday. Once this goes under the 200 and it closes beneath it, see, we haven't really had a close. We haven't had a close on the daily yet. We've had a close on it, but not beneath it. And so once it closes beneath it, then it's like remember yesterday I did the analogy with the Titanic. The Titanic is gonna, once it's fully submerged and the water just floods all the levels of the ship. Here the levels are getting flooded, but the ship hasn't flooded completely. It's not going to flood completely until it closes on a daily beneath the 200 weekly, and then it's curtains. Then and only then it's curtains. But this is proving to be a strong cloud cover. This 50 MA, and it's kind of looking like it's a liquidity raid zone or a liquidity sweep zone. And we see that, like, if we do just kind of we do some VSA, you see how the price is pumping up from here above the 200, and then we look at the demand, but the demand is decreasing as this so we have like divergence, right? We have divergence, we have the candles going up, but we have the vertical bar volume not very impressive. You would think demand would be much higher. Like if the bull's incentive were to stay above the 200 and start making headway to overcome the 50 MA, we should be seeing more demand here. Demand actually growing instead of demand shrinking. You see the shrinkage, right? So all this means something. You see this, demand going down here. So I look at that as an analyst. I'm looking at demand going up, demand going down, but price action going up. This is divergence. This is actually bearish divergence in it. So like I talked about yesterday, don't be fooled by the flares. Usually when a ship is in distress, right, it shoots up flares. And so in this case, the flares, it's like green fire going up. And those that are not, those that don't understand market psychology or volume price action metrics, they can get fooled into thinking that that these are legit rallies, that the motive behind these, this is going to save the boat. All the holes are going to get patched. It's going to get back up on top of the ocean surface. It's going to stay atop the ocean surface, and not only that, it's going to launch off into space like a space shuttle and blast through the 50 MA and then the 200 and then the 400. And so that's really what would need to happen for this thing to just suddenly become bullish. But like we talked about at length in many videos, that something like that would be an anomaly. But so anyway, but they don't want you to think that. So they're going to put all this stuff out about optimistic outlook. Standard quarter doubles down. Bitcoin's still set to hit 100K in 2026. See, there's another one, and I'm just picking these arbitrarily. I haven't read any of them. I have yet to see a bearish headline here. Standard Charter doubles down. Okay, we just read that. Bitcoin's next major buying opportunity forms in Q4. And then we got these so-called NASA, ostensibly researchers, explaining why. Oh, look out, NASA is getting into technical analysis. So Bitcoin miner adds 454 BTC at 64K, while others still sell into the bear market. So this one's kind of like ambiguous, I guess. Um, but anyway, we go back. Price action is king. Price action volume is king, and so we're seeing this come up just like I talked about. It's making attempts at the 50 MA. Remember, we talked about this, and it could very well prevail. It could very well surmount the 50 MA, but it would have to establish a daily close atop of this to really impress me. I think it may go through it. Remember, it's at a 65.1. We could have a wick that could shoot up to 66, 67 even, but that doesn't mean it's going to stay up there. So don't get fooled. Again, that's the flares going up. And so they use that along with the catalytic narratives, like we just saw in Crypto Panic, to bamboozle, to inveigle noobs who don't really know price action very well and are driven by emotion and driven by the energy that these things put out. And people are hungry, they want to make money in crypto. So that's about all I've got. Like I said, this is just kind of an elaboration, picking up where we left off yesterday. But yeah, so everything's right here in the algorithm. This is kind of like the roadmap. These are identical. These are parallel fractals. And so it's kind of, these have like duplicated and replicated for the most part pretty accurately. I mean, like, look at this redistribution here coming down, and these are at the same. These are both on 4 hours, right? Even so, and then we have this micro support line here, this dotted line, same as this year, and then we came down through the crossed over anchored VWAP. So it's been playing out since way back. I mean, this is back in November of last year, and it's kind of the algorithm it has replicated. So I have no reason to doubt that it will continue to do the same as the price consolidates, bounces to and fro beneath this micro trend. This would be the micro trend resistance and the trading range support line here, as this thing possibly winds down into like kind of like a textbook descending triangle, kind of like this. You see how the price is getting squeezed, the spread, and then we have a kind of like a UTAD, like a fake out up here. So we could also anticipate that. So just because we reach up and we raid the 50 MA, and then we come back down like we did here, the 50 MA has been like the neckline. We could see that as the neckline. That doesn't mean that we're out of the woods yet, and we're having more sell off. More sell off will probably come, but not after a fake out, one last big fake out. So just be on the lookout for that. Stay subscribed and tuned into this channel, so try not to miss out on that. I'll be doing updates as this thing plays out, and so I'll try to continue to keep you guys well informed and as safe as possible. Of course, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know the future. I don't know any of that stuff. I've never assumed that I know any of that, so I could be wrong in my technical analysis. But I've been right since at least November, since October of last year. So, and those who have been tuned into this channel can attest to that. Why don't you leave a comment, and be one of those. If you've made money off these charts, if you've made money off the technical analysis that I've provided for you here and in the Discord. I'm still waiting on the altcoins. I've been kind of quiet in the Discord. There's really not a lot going on. I just answer questions right now. But as soon as I sense some stirring, some resuscitation in the altcoin universe, you could rest assured that I'm going to be putting my own charts up there. For now, I'm just looking at super cycles and various altcoins to include the finance sector, payment, remittance, and the banking coins, and the artificial intelligence projects, the tokenization and decentralization of those. Those are the ones more often than not I find are in superstructure macro cycles. And when I mean macro superstructure, I mean bullish structures, like, for example, a 4 wave and in a 5 Elliott impulse, just waiting to launch. Kind of like how I identified Zcash last year. These are in like holding patterns. They haven't gone yet, and they're probably going to go down when Bitcoin has this kind of sell-off, which could come in the next month or so. It's probably going to bring some of these down still a bit more. Some will be affected more than others, but they all should kind of retrace a little bit. Some of them are off in their own orbits and they're completely independent, and there's no telling what they'll do. But many of them are, like I said, in superstructure, super cycle bullish patterns, and they're just waiting for Bitcoin dominance to drop conclusively. And then that's going to be enough to embolden institutional, order flow, institutional investors, institutional interests, smart money to begin to rotate money out of Bitcoin and into the altcoins. And that's when we've seen the altcoins kind of explode, especially these that are in bullish super cycle holding patterns. So make sure you stay tuned. If you'd like more information on those patterns and some of the coins that I've identified, I put some videos up in here, like the Future Altcoin Millionaire series, but there are more that I have. And those you can get more in depth within the Discord. Certainly in the days and weeks to come, we'll be doing more of those, because I really anticipate Bitcoin dominance falling much more noticeably and effectively in the coming weeks. So, but first, we got to get past this, this kind of like bullish season right here. It's kind of just like a counter micro rally. But as we can see from the algorithm, it's not something that you want to really trust in. As far as a full-fledged reversal, I don't think we're anywhere near that. So just beware of the flares of the ship going down, and just be safe. And with that, I'm going to let you guys go. Thanks for tuning in again. hollapablo@gmail.com for anyone who needs prayer. I'd love to pray with you, pray for you. You can remain anonymous, and so that's the real reason why this channel exists, and why I do these videos. It's for whosoever will. If you're not called to that, you don't feel inclined for that, then may God bless you. I wish you the best. But for those that maybe this is the time that you've watched these videos and you feel your heart stirring, it's probably the Holy Spirit. It's not Satan that's going to be stirring your heart to ask for prayer. It's always the Spirit of the Lord. It's the Spirit of God. So if the Spirit of God is stirring you, don't harden your heart. Don't turn them off and go look at something else on the internet, or get distracted, or do stuff that you're not supposed to be doing. That your conscience is condemning you for. And maybe your conscience used to condemn you, but you've done these things so much that your conscience has become hardened and seared over. That's a danger that the Bible warns about. It's kind of like a scab that comes over. But sometimes you hear a timely word and that scab becomes tenderized again. And that's the grace of God. That's a window opening up. And so if you feel this tenderness in your heart kind of coming in, and you would just like some like anonymous prayer, keep yourself totally anonymous, just reach out and say, hey, brother, could you please pray for me? You don't have to tell me. I don't care what it is. I'm not a Catholic priest. It's none of my business. Just let me know that you need prayer, and I'll go and I'll intercede for you before the throne of Almighty God. All right. I love you in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. And so with that, none of what you've seen or heard here is financial advice. I know it's good TA, but it's not financial advice. I could be wrong with this stuff, right? All this stuff here. But spiritually speaking, I'm not wrong. And you can take it to the bank. And I make no concessions for that. All right, guys, I love you. Reach out, hollapablo@gmail.com. All right, guys, have a wonderful weekend. It's Friday, right? All right. We'll talk to you guys soon. God bless you. Bye-bye.